Money, 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 money. I'm totally aging myself with that song. You didn't hear that. Today's lesson is on money. Money, money, money. So before we start the lesson, I want to do a little exercise. So you don't need a piece of paper for this, but you could take out a piece of paper if you really wanted to. I'm going to give you part of a sentence, and I want you to fill in the blank with one word. And the lesson, the exercise only works if you say the first word that comes to your head. And the great thing about video is nobody's going to know what you said. Usually in a classroom, we put them all on the board, and everyone's all embarrassed. And the second part is to not second guess yourself. Like, don't think about the answer. Just say like the first thing that pops into your mind. Okay? All right, ready? Rich people are... Okay? So, what was the word that came into your mind? If it was anything along the realms of something negative, then this lesson is for you. So, over the years, I've heard a lot of answers to that question, but they pretty much fall into the same type of words we've gotten. Rich people are greedy, rich people are selfish, which is kind of the same thing. Ugly, stupid, liars, things like that. So, and then you get the random person that goes, rich people are great. So if your word that you filled in the blank without judgment was one of those, what that is an indication of your true belief about rich people and about money. And I think we touched on this in some of the other lessons, but now maybe you know if you qualify in this category. And so what that's called is a limiting belief. And again, a limiting belief is any belief that holds you back. We've got beliefs, they either help us, they either serve us, or they hold us back to where we know we want to go, to our ultimate unlimited potential. And so this is a perfect example of a limiting belief, because presumably if you're in a course about getting better at sales, it's because you also want to be more financially successful and ultimately make more money. That's what business is. And if you have this limiting belief inside of you, there's nothing that you can do. If you don't change those beliefs, you will always subconsciously work towards making those beliefs come true for you in your life. So you may say no to an opportunity that you don't realize might get you closer to your goal of being financially successful. You won't be aware of it, but there'll be things that you do subconsciously that will push away money because you associate it with whatever word you filled the blank in with. And this is a real problem because actually most of society thinks like this, right? You're not alone. I definitely felt like this when I first did this exercise. I think I probably said greedy or selfish. There's sayings like money is the root of all evil, or, people must have done dirty money. Ever hear that one too? Or people must have done something, evil or illegal or immoral or unethical in order to make money. And so these actually hurt you. And most people feel this way because the statistic is that 93% of people at the age of 65 are not financially independent. They have to rely on the help of friends, family, or the government in order to retire. So most people are repelling money. So it's common. It's the status quo to feel this way. But if you want to be, financially successful, you can't be part of the status quo. You've got to change. And that includes changing your thinking and challenging some of the thoughts that might be holding you back. And we talked in another video about how you might do that. And it's basically about replacing the tapes that aren't working for you, replacing the beliefs that aren't working for you with a belief that will work for you. And you go out and you gather evidence. So for me, when I did this exercise, I thought, that's interesting. I feel rich people are selfish. But then I looked in my personal life, and people that I knew personally that were very wealthy were actually the most generous people I knew. They gave lots of money to charity. They always gave really nice, generous gifts. Even just beyond giving money, they gave of their time. They gave of their expertise. They were advisors. They were mentors. They sat on boards, things like that. They were even good parents and good friends. So I looked for more and more examples of where this was true until ultimately it started to change the tape in my head. So that's one way you can do it. And now I have other limiting beliefs. I realized I have a limiting belief that if you make a lot of money, you have to lose it at some point and then build it all back up again. And that might happen over and over because all the uber successful people that I've known have lost lots of money and then built it back up and then lost it again and built it back up. So I have to look for examples where that's not true and where, in order to maintain financial freedom, I don't have to have these, dips. So normally salespeople don't ever get this kind of training on, how money works and how our minds work and how these all have to work together in order to be successful. But we found that just training thousands of salespeople that you can't just tell people what to do. You have to help develop the mind, body, and soul. And so that's why this course to me is so special and why I felt it was something that I wanted to deliver to the market. Because you've come in with the goal to increase your sales. But I hope that you walked away with so much more than that, because knowing that increasing your sales takes much more than just doing something. It also takes changing some of the thinking around sales and also changing, how you think about yourself and exploring who you are and, really, really getting into, why you do the things you do. So, money used to be money is a way to exchange services for services. We used to have bartering. You'd bring your sheep and you'd trade it for a cow or something, and you'd try to figure out an even trade. And then money came along, and then you had prices. So it's really the same thing. But, the difference between the people who are very financially successful is that they know their value in the market. And you have value too. Most people underestimate their value, so they're underpricing themselves. But the difference between because people will always barter with you, right? They'll always try to pay you less than what you're worth. They're trying to get you for a lower price and you're trying to get your full value. But the only thing that can prevent them pulling your price down is you knowing your worth and your value and your expertise. Because when they find out that they can't have you for the lower price and they realize your value and your expertise, they will pay for it. So it's also about being the best at what you do, whether that's a salesperson, understanding your product and how it fits in the market better than anyone else. If you're a coach, it's about, being the best coach in your own unique way, So people will pay when they realize your value, but you have to understand your value first. You have to be your own cheerleader first and your own promoter first, and then people will start promoting for you and start, singing your praises for you. But you really have to understand that value first and believe in yourself before other people can believe in you. And then, so money then has this, it's much more than paper, right? We've got these like extremely negative thoughts about money, and society in general has extremely negative thoughts about money. And even, rich people are even villainized in our society because it's popular opinion. It goes along with what the status quo accepts as true. But it's also, unfortunately, what keeps the majority of people from being financially free. So we've got all these, money has many colors, and green is just one of them. Money is so much more than that. And so I want you to think about what money is to you, how you determine your value, how valuable you are. And, we have to put a price on that. And that's what business is about. That's what bartering is about. Are you worth 2 cows or 1? So you need to be confident in your value, and money is our way of keeping score. So putting that price tag on it. And if you think of it that way, maybe you won't have as much resistance to charging your full price out in the market. So I'll end on that note. That's why we have green as one of our colors, because green is the color of money. And we want to help you attract more and more of it into your life. Okay, well, I'll see you in the next lesson.